Okay, guys, I'm going to talk about pulse oximeters and how they are useful, especially in this time of COVID-19 or coronavirus. Now, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a doctor or nurse, so always seek out a second opinion and do some basic research to get facts, okay? I am an asthmatic, so I'm very familiar with these things, and one of the things that asthmatics have that is very similar to COVID-19 or coronavirus is that many asthmatics can get recurring chest infections, which can lead to pneumonia. Okay, and pneumonia is a very serious issue because it can really decrease your oxygen intake and make it very hard to breathe and put you in hospital. It's very serious, and that is one of the similar situations going on with coronavirus or COVID-19, is that it's the pneumonia that is really sending people to hospital, and that's the big issue. But the problem is right now there's not a lot of tests available for everybody to use and get tested, and people are being told to stay at home, self-isolate, and even if you're feeling a little bit sick, people are being told to stay home, don't go to the hospital, because going to the hospital could increase your risk of maybe getting infected with coronavirus or COVID-19 if you don't have it. So if you just have a cold and you go to the hospital, you're really putting yourself at risk, right? So people are scared to go to the hospital. People may be being told not to go to the hospital. There's all kinds of different, kind of miscommunication. So one of the things about staying at home is being educated about what symptoms that should trigger you to go seek out further help. Either one is fever, second, trouble breathing, right? Those are two big ones in my opinion. And if you ever have trouble breathing or fever, you seek out help. Now, what a pulse oximeter does, it measures the amount of oxygen in your blood. And with pneumonia, what happens is your lungs fill up with fluid, basically, and you're unable to get as much oxygen as you normally would into your lungs and therefore into your bloodstream, basically. All right. And you can actually measure your baseline blood oxygen level using one of these. Okay, so if you're feeling, this is really beneficial if you're feeling healthy. It's to have a good baseline, just like your blood pressure. If you're healthy, you go to the doctor, they check your blood pressure and it's normal, and they can measure it against your blood pressure if you come back next time and see what it was, or your weight. What's your regular weight? If you put on 10 pounds all of a sudden, maybe something's wrong. So this can measure your basically your blood oxygen level, and you can get a baseline and see what you're normally at. And then when you're feeling sick, this can show you either something's going on with your blood oxygen, which probably means your lungs, something's going on with your lungs, or it could show you maybe there's nothing wrong with your blood oxygen, and maybe you're feeling sick because of something else. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly how this works, and you can buy these on Amazon. They're called a pulse oximeter. So you basically, it's one button right here, and it's just this is how it works. You stick your finger in there and a reading will come on, and it'll show you your, not only your blood oxygen but your pulse as well. Okay, so let's go through this with me. I'm going to turn it on. Okay, it says finger out. I'm going to stick my finger in, and it's starting to read. Okay, it takes a while. Now these are best used just sitting still, okay? And you might have to try it a couple of times over and over to make sure the reading is accurate. So you can see two numbers on the screen here. One is 99 and one is 77. 99 is my oxygen level. So it's 99% oxygen, okay? And my pulse is 78. So 77, 76 heartbeats, okay? Low, very nice. All right. So what happens with pneumonia is, since you're losing the capacity in your lungs to take in oxygen and therefore process it towards to out to your body, especially like into your fingers, like say the blood in my finger, it would be getting less oxygen in that blood because I'm taking in less oxygen. So this number will start to go down. So if I'm feeling really congested in my chest, it might say, if it's usually 99 like now, maybe, and I'm sick, it would say 95 or, lower, okay? Or maybe I see 96 and I would see, that's strange because I'm usually 99. Why would it say 96? For me, I can tell you as an asthmatic, if I see 96, I'm probably feeling sick. All right. Some people, they might not even notice it. All right. So that is the difference. So right now it's 99. That's max oxygen. Usually it won't say 100% on these. It'll say 99. That is max. So that is as good as it gets. All right. And if I start to get a cold or maybe I have some coughs or something, I can put this on and check and I see, oh, my lungs are working pretty good. This is okay. All right. Now, when this number goes down, the blood oxygen level, sometimes what happens in pneumonia is your oxygen level will go down. So say this says 94, okay? You might see the pulse go up. So the pulse, if it's usually 75, maybe it's up at 100. And that could mean that your heart is beating really fast, trying to get more oxygen into your body. Because there's decreased oxygen going into your lungs, so your heart is, it's trying to beat faster, trying to just get that oxygen into your body. So you could see here that there was something wrong. If I was having pneumonia, this would be like 94, 93. This might be 100 and like 100, right? And I never get to 100 just sitting still. So if I'm sitting still in bed and this says 100, there's something going on. All right. This is about $30 on Amazon. Very useful tool, being able to tell you two different readouts for your pulse and oxygen. Very useful in cases of pneumonia. And of course, you can check out other videos to get more information. Are they accurate? This is the issue. Some of these can take a while before they give a right reading. So you have to sit still. You might have to take it on and off your finger a couple of times to make sure. If this says 94, I take it off, put it back on, make sure it's still saying 94, right? And if it's saying, and I want to make sure before I get sick that I understand my baseline is usually 99. If I have something like COPD or some kind of lung issue where I usually don't have full lung capacity, my baseline might be something low. Like it might be 96 or 97. It's like, something like that, where it's not 99. And so I want to know what that baseline is before I get sick. I want to know what my regular number is. And for me, it's 99. And another thing you can do is check when you're walking. Now, I know I just said use it while you're sitting still, but what you can do is check while you're walking. You put your hand up, hold it in front of your face and walk, and see how much this drops down. And sometimes the doctors call that like walking pneumonia. So it might not show up really while you're sitting, but it might show up while you're walking. And you can see. So you can see here, this is dropping down for whatever reason, right? Because I moved it around. I do have some old nail polish on, and this shines a light through your nail bed. Okay, so that's why the doctors always want you to not have nail polish on during surgery, because they put one of these on your fingers to check your pulse and oxygen. So I'm going to take this out. Okay, and I have a bad habit of holding my breath when I talk, so let's see. Okay, so we're back here, okay, 99. I think, so, you know, I have a bad habit of holding my breath, and sometimes that can drop out like that too. When I talk, I just don't take deep breaths. So you can see that. So very useful. Again, on Amazon, these are about $30, I think, and it's called a pulse oximeter. And yeah, if you're gonna buy anything, if you're gonna buy toilet paper or Javex wipes or whatever, this is probably one of the most useful things to buy in these times, where you can basically keep an eye on your health. And if you're going to buy a blood pressure monitor or a thermometer, buy a pulse oximeter, and it'll just give you another bit of information where you can understand what's going on with your health. Now, should you use one of these on your cell phone? This is a dedicated machine. I'm really not sure how accurate the ones on the cell phone are. So I would honestly buy one of these versus using the one on the cell phone. The cell phone is more, you know, of using the app versus, you know, someone's made an app to turn your flashlight into a pulse oximeter. So I would see if you can buy a dedicated one. But if you know, maybe check out the app and see. So here it is open. I'm gonna, so it's just a light on the inside. Oh, so there's just a little light on the inside, and it flashes through your nail bed, and that's how it works. So thank you for watching my video on the pulse oximeter, and I hope it's useful.